Hi, Matt with etrailer. If you're looking for a set of chains that are going to be great for those more light duty areas, or you just need something in case of emergency just to give you a little bit more traction, or you're just trying to stay legal in your state, then the Titan Chain tire chains on our 2024 Hyundai Kona are going to be a great option for you. Now we're going to have this on the front axle is what the manual recommends, and our tire size is going to be 215 60 R17. Now that's just the tire size we have today. It will fit a variety of different sizes. If you're not sure if this is going to fit your vehicle, you can plug in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find the correct fit for you. The reason why these are nice for those emergency case scenarios is going to be because of the type of chains we have. These are going to be roller links, so they're not going to give you a lot of traction. If you just need a little bit more, they'll get the job done, but that's going to be because we don't have any hard edges to these. So while they won't give you a whole lot of traction, they will give you a little bit, but they'll also provide you more of a smooth ride overall. A couple other things that will provide you more of a smooth ride is going to be the construction, because they are made from a low carbon steel, so they're not the most durable, but they are softer metal, so you won't feel any bumps as much with these. And they're going to have a very low profile to them. They're actually going to be S-Class compatible, so they're going to sit really far away from our suspension so we don't make any contact. And then we're going to have a ladder pattern design. This ladder pattern is going to help us get more traction when we're stopping and starting. And here at the bottom is going to be how we make our connections. It's just going to be these metal blocks that go through this channel to secure it down. Now we'll say this style is pretty difficult to make those connections on the backside of our tires, so definitely keep that in mind. These chains are going to come two to a set in this pretty light duty bag. Now these are some light duty chains, so they really shouldn't tear them up too much. And it is pretty easy to get our chains in here because a lot of roller link chains are usually pretty springy, so they're kind of hard to get back in the bag, but these are more of a, I guess, softer, not as springy chain, so getting back in the bag isn't too much of a hassle. So that's really nice. So as far as storing these, I think it's a great fit for what we have today. Now, if you are looking for something that's going to give you the same benefits of these, but just be an easier installation, because trying to get underneath the Kona is going to be pretty difficult. Another great chain is going to be the Titan Chain tire chains with a rubber tensioner. These actually don't come with a rubber tensioner, and we do recommend using one, because what can happen is when you're driving down the road, your chains can shift, and a lot of times that leads to them loosening up. And if they loosen up, they could make contact with your suspension or anything else. So that's why a rubber tensioner is great to have. And the Titan Chain tire chains has it with it. And something to think about with that too is with those chains, we make all our connections on the front side of the tire, so we don't have to get underneath our vehicle. Now, if you want to see how much of a hassle getting underneath your vehicle is and making that connection, because maybe it's not too bad for you and you can see yourself doing it, then just stay tuned and we'll walk you through the process. To start off our installation, I'm going to lay out our chains and grab some gloves, just make this a bit easier. Now, if you are doing this for the first time, I recommend staying home and trying this out, because you don't want to have to try to figure this out on the side of the road in the middle of a blizzard. But what we're looking for when we lay our chains is to make sure none of our links are damaged, they look pretty good, and is in the right orientation. So we'll have these hooks that are on our chains. We want that to be facing up. On the other side is going to be flat, and it even says tire side. After when you've done that, we can come over to the center, lift up, and drape them over the tire. And from this point, we're just trying to make sure everything's even. We don't want anything hanging down too low, like this, where it's going to make contact with your rim. And then I like to kind of change where the ends are sitting, just so they're going to be a little bit easier to make our connections later on. Speaking of those connections, I like to start with the back side because that is the harder side. And what we're doing is basically pushing these metal blocks through this channel. And that can be pretty difficult because this is a pretty tight spot, especially if you are a larger person. And when you're doing this, you want to make sure you don't get it too tight on the first try. So it might take you a couple times to do this, because we want to make sure everything's pretty tight but then even. So each side should be around the same point on these blocks. After when this is done, we can start making the connection on the front side. And the connection is going to be a little bit easier to see from this side. It is the same process though, just pushing those blocks through that opening. Might be able to get that one more. There we go. Once you have this pretty good, just kind of pull on it some and check how it's feeling. We still have a little bit of looseness from this, so I think a rubber tensioner is going to do a lot for us. So the way I like to place mine is in a star pattern. And when we're putting the rubber tensioner on, try to make sure that those hooks are facing away from your tire, just so they don't puncture anything. After when you have this fully installed, you can do this on the other side too. Once both are installed, just give it another pull test, make sure everything feels pretty good. And then you can back up, pull forward some to make sure nothing's shifting too much. And if it looks pretty good, you can take it out for a ride. But that's just a look at some of the features and the installation of the Titan Chain tire chains on our 2024 Hyundai Kona. I'm Matt, thanks for watching.